I, Sagarika Paul Das, Assistant Professor in the Department of Management, welcome you all to this session. The topic for the workshop is Seed Grant Proposal Writing, organized by the Department of Management. In today's academic and research environment, securing research funding has become increasingly important for transforming innovative ideas into meaningful projects, strategic planning, and a clear understanding of funding opportunities. This workshop has been designed to provide valuable insights into these aspects and to support researchers into preparing and submitting quality proposals to various funding agencies. We are honored to have with us Dr. Sinmoy Goswami, Assistant Professor at Assam Institute of Management and in charge at IIM Research Center. Before we begin, I would now like to request our respected HOD ma'am to kindly felicitate sir with a Fulam Kamusa and a memento as a token of our appreciation and warm welcome.
First and foremost, I'd like to convey my warmest gratitude for giving me this rare opportunity to speak on this workshop. Okay, this is indeed a very important topic because as of date today, you may be knowing, a lot of trust has been given as far as research is concerned. Okay, so most of you sitting here, you may be wondering first and foremost as to what is the importance of this workshop. Okay, so before I start with my formal presentation, as of date today, India spends around 0.65% of its GDP on research. Clear? Our GDP is around 4.17 trillion or something like that. Chinese GDP is 19 trillion. China spends 3.2% of its GDP, 3.2% of its GDP on research. Israel, a very small country, spends around 5% of its GDP on research. South Korea spends 6% of its GDP on research. So actually, if you want to develop a country, okay, you can just take one example. Chinese, exactly 45 years ago, it was a beggar country. Condition was very bad. So in 1978, they embarked on reforms under presidency of their president, then President Deng Xiaoping. He emphasized on research and quality education. Okay, now you can see how focus on quality education research has transformed the country. As of date today, they are around 400 years ahead of India. It's a fact. Okay, their present infrastructure is even far better than many Western countries. Okay, so this is a very important area. So without wasting time, I'll go to my presentation. Good critical thinking skills and good time management skills. I will show you my presentation in conjunction with some practical examples. Okay. So this is a sample research proposal that I had submitted on behalf of our institute to Assam Science, Technology and Environment Council. It is under Department of Science and Technology, Government of Assam. You can see this is a proposal basically for regularization of science and mathematics facilitators. So this we have given entire details of our organization. This is how we design. So there are certain formats of writing. I'll just use it as a base. Okay, I'll explain you. So moving to my presentation. So good writing skills, good organizing skills, good critical thinking skills, and good time management skills. Critical thinking means my timing is 1 hour. 1. So it is 11:03. I'll end up at 12 because time management is important. Okay. Now, most important part here is critical thinking skills. Thinking something unique, creativity. Okay. With due respect, don't take it in a negative sense. our present education system, now it is undergoing a change. You might have seen in schools also. So the education system that we passed out, basically it was memory based. Yes or no? You've seen that famous 3 movies, I suppose. You see that, remember that character Chatur Ramalinga, and you remember the character of Amir Khan, he played the character of Ranjor Das. You might have remembered, okay? So our system is there. Our system, it was a colonial system. Okay, basically it was done to create a group of people who will follow the master. They will not question. So in our schools, we were taught, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Something like this, and at the last it goes, like a diamond in the sky. See, when I am sitting on the ground, scientifically when I look upwards, from my perception it is the sky. But star does not lie in the sky, it lies in space. Or you can call it universe. But suppose the child says space instead of sky, what will happen? The teacher will give a thrusting to the sky. Yes or no? In Assamese, we learn opul nupulogyo. Okay. The flower says the cow eats what? Now thing is that, is the cow only creature that eats flowers? It may be a goat also. But suppose the student questions the teacher, what will happen? The student gets a thrusting. So in this manner, what happens? We have forced kids from starting kindergarten stage. We have memorized everything. We go to a matriculation. We memorize. You ask any person how many marks you got. They tell a very high marks. I've seen students even in my institute. You have an idea. You want to apply for a research. Say you want to go for a research work, but you need funds. So here what you have is a funding call. See, this is a funding opportunity or funding announcement. It's a public notice or invitation from a funding organization or agency inviting individuals, organizations or institutions to apply for funding for a specific research, innovation or development project. Okay. This is the website of Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR. This is one of the most important funding bodies for research in social science. Now, if you want to do research work in pure and applied science, there are a lot more funding bodies, huge number of funding bodies, because more focus is there, and it is imperative also. But as far as social science is concerned, number of funding bodies are less, and there is a lot of competition. Okay, so one is AICT, UGC also, you can go to the website. There are many options. Okay, this is how the website looks like. This is where before application you have to register. This is how it looks like. Okay, and this is the entire section. You have to apply for this grant part. Click in this grant part. Okay, I'll show you. So steps to be taken to handle any funding call. You have to appropriately respond to that funding call. There may be a last date also. Okay. Appropriate reading of the funding call. It must be properly read. What is actually needed? What is the objective? Clear? Identification of fit. First find out whether you are fit for the job or not. Whether your team is fit for the job or not. Okay. Developing a proposal, seek feedback. Don't submit the proposal. You should take proper feedback. When you do your PhD, suppose you are doing under some guide XYZ. Before you submit the PhD, before any pre-submission seminar, not the final submission, no, pre-submission, it should be always circulated. You should take at least some advice from at least two additional people, not beyond that, okay? Because some may give some diverging opinion, you will get confused. Okay? I do the same thing in my institute. So before my students submit, so 2 more students have already submitted their thesis, who have already got. So when before they go for their pre-submission, I circulate the thesis among at least 1 or 2 experts in my institute. I take their idea. At least there should be 360-degree visits. Same applies for when you apply for any proposal. This is very important. Okay, because what happens, remember one thing, the person who thinks himself or herself to be the most intelligent person in the world is actually the greatest fool. Okay, there are different formats. Okay, the most common format and the best format, this is my perception, is the IMRAT format. This IMRAT. IMRAT stands for Introduction, Methods. Methods means research methodology, results and discussion. Okay? It refers to a paper that is structured by 4 main sections: introduction, methods, results and discussion. This format is often used for lab reports, as well as for reporting any planned systematic research in social science, natural science or engineering and computer science. Okay, so this is a format. So I'm just going back to my example. So I'm moving to my example. Here I have used a slightly different format. Okay, this was a project of Government of Assam. It's under project of estate under Government of Assam. Okay, so first we gave the details of the organization. Okay, so we have mentioned every detail. Then I went for approach. I discussed the entire approach. Here means for few government departments. See, I have shown you a proposal in the format of IMRAT that may not be applicable everywhere. In some Assam government departments, it may be different. Some Indian government departments or agencies, it may be different. So our institute, besides our MBA education and all, besides this academic activities, we also go for research activities. Other than PhD, these are government research. We have taken several research projects under bodies under Government of India, state government of Assam or maybe neighboring states, including central and state government PSUs, including private sector organizations. The introduction. Because see the nature of the project. Proposal for regularization of science and mathematics facilitators. So this was a proposal that was given to us. So what happens, let me tell you, you have seen these government schools, na? All these government schools. Now slowly funds are coming, but most of the government schools, their level of education quality wise, it is very bad. And Assam was facing a distinct problem. Number of students opting for science stream after matriculation was either going down or remaining constant, which is very bad for the economy. You know why China developed? Because their education system focused on STEM education: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. See, although I'm an engineer, I'm from management background. You are from commerce and all. That's fine, but basic for development of a country, there must be focus on STEM. Then in the outer sphere, it should include economics, management, commerce, those stuff. Okay, but STEM is very important. Okay, now they focus on STEM. So what question was that why students are not opting for science? So it was found that level of teaching for science and mathematics up to class 10 level was very poor. So few faculty members were appointed. They were called facilitators. So they were asked to teach science and mathematics using practical tools like say charts and all. Means they didn't have this type, most schools didn't have this type of digital tools. Okay, but whatever was possible. Okay, means their job was not regularized. So we were given the task, submit your viewpoint whether we should regularize. So 42 science and 42 mathematics facilitators were appointed across 42 schools across Assam. Okay, in all districts of Assam. Let me tell you, we did this project during COVID, during the second wave of COVID. So initially, we collected data, visited, but then all the schools, when we completed, around 8% of the schools, so government imposed restrictions on movement.
So there was a lockdown. So we carried out our work using focus group technique, using Google Meet. Okay, Google Meet as a platform. Okay, so we selected teachers from few schools, one area, one district, and we collected information. And we also circulated a questionnaire. What we did in every district, we selected one enumerator. We paid money. Okay, enumerator collected information through this. See, most faculty members were unable to submit their responses over Google Forms. Okay, so ultimately we had to go for the hard copy of the questionnaire. So data was collected and it was posted back to AI. It was a bit cumbersome process, to be very frank, but we did it in a very short time. Okay, now here we have journal research article and a proposal for funding. There are certain differences. Okay, you should know the difference. In journal research, although it is brief, but you have to be with detail. Here, result sections are usually written in past tense. Make sure all tables and figures are labeled and numbered separately. Okay, discussion. What does it mean? Here, main study findings are summarized with necessary comments and link this with other researches. Here, limitations of the study should be discussed along with future scope of research. You have to discuss the limitations because those questions will come. Questions will always arise, and it's very similar. When you submit a research paper, you must be ready for reviewer comments. Okay, that thing must be clear. There is no way out. Clear? So I am going for the next part. So this is a generalized structure. Okay, that is Imran, that is a generalized structure. It starts with a cover letter, generalized structure of a research proposal design. We conducted this study in 2 stages. Phase 1, exploratory study. The first phase of the study will be exploratory in nature. Will be. You see, the word will be is mentioned. This is will be. Researchers will engage in a study of secondary data containing relevant data regarding impact assessment. This is not a technical paper, this is a proposal. Are you getting me? Technical paper is a report, you will submit a task. This is a proposal. Proposal will be in future tense. In addition, researchers will also engage in discussion with the following three types of stakeholders. We selected principals, head of departments of science and mathematics in schools, concerned facilitators and students. So study was conducted in 3 levels. Okay? Next phase of descriptive study will be undertaken by researchers using survey method. This will involve use of 3 separate questionnaires. So have you seen? I have used the word will be. Okay? I'm coming. Data sources and tools. Primary data source. Such data will include. Will. Okay? Will. So again, such data will be of the following categories: qualitative data, quantitative. Okay? So I am coming back to my presentation. Are you clear now, all of you? Please note the difference between a technical paper and a proposal. The technical paper is basically a report. Proposal, before submitting my technical paper, proposal, what will I do? What will I do? Okay? So, moving ahead here. Search and keywords. Introduction should include background information. Background, what is the done, what is the problem, what is the area, why this issue has come up. Okay, why these things have happened. Okay, now I'll just open up the main report. Remember, I mentioned something called a technical paper. Either you will submit small report, very small, And based on your funding organization, they will ask you to submit a detailed report. Then it is not called a technical paper, it's a report. Are you getting me? So this is the report. We have mentioned the entire consultancy team. This is a team. Okay. So this is area where we have signed. Okay. So the digital signature is present. So we put our signatures later. And this is the main sanction letter, authorization letter from Assam Science, Technology and Environment Council. We have mentioned here the soft copy. We have acknowledged there is an executive salary, very different from PhD thesis. Do not equate it, it's a different thing. So, what we have surveyed, we have mentioned briefly, and this is a table of contents, list of tables, figures, and from here we started chapter 1. I hope all of you know how to use page break option in MS Word. So here up to here page numbering was in this format. From this section onwards, page numbering starts from 1 in this format. So we have used page break option. Okay. So here we have introduced background of the scheme. This is the report, not proposal. It's not a proposal. Exactly from whom we want to collect data, that is the study area. What is the sampling unit? Sampling unit, suppose I am collecting data from little infants, baby. They cannot answer to my questions. So normally they are my respondents, but who will respond to my question? Their family members. So their family, their household is the sampling unit. If you can answer the question, you are the element, you are the sampling unit. Okay, that thing should be clear because you know it, but many people still make a mistake. So I felt it, I should point it out. So sampling technique, mention it very clearly. There are two types of sampling technique. One is probabilistic, one is non-probabilistic. The most important difference is that in probabilistic sampling technique, you will involve a sampling frame. Sampling frame. You go, when you teach students in your class, you have a class register, no? Name of every student is written once and only once. In our institute, in MBA program, there are 2 students having the name Rituras Saitya. Everything is same. Okay, they look different, but name and title is same. One is from Moran, one is from Nogam. So what to do now? But their roll numbers are different. So your name of one person will be represented there once and only once. You have a faculty list there, you know. Your name is written once and only once. Madam's name will be written only once and once. There will be another doctor in Portugal. But you are different, that lady may be different. But your name will be written there only once. Suppose you don't have a valid sampling frame. What to do? Then you go for non-probabilistic sampling. Because why I am feeling the need to point out, because there are many people who do convenience sampling and they write simple random sampling. Simple random means not random. You are using a random number table, from there you must find out which to select. It's unbiased sampling. But if you don't have a valid sampling frame, do not waste your time mentioning probabilistic sampling. Okay, because more you mention, more will be the questions. When we go to submit our proposals, normally, till now, whatever proposals I have submitted, I have given my presentations in Secretariat. 3 times in CM block, Chief Minister's block in Secretariat. Normally, our presentations, there is a presentation, it is chaired by one IAS officer. And there are other bureaucrats sitting. Most IAS officers are highly educated people. Okay, so when I made my earlier report, it was okay, fine. My IS officer, I will not tell you his name. So he started questioning me like anything. I was giving my presentation, my director was sitting, and my other co-member was sitting there. So when it came to the finding section, I started the presentation. Okay. So we are grilled like anything because he will be paying the money, no? He is answerable to the government. Tomorrow anything goes wrong, he will be answerable. It's public money, no? This grilling is even more than the grilling you face in PhD. You completed your pre-submission. Where you grill? How many of you completed your? Many of you completed your PhD or pre-submission. Now where you grill there? Grilling is highest in which? In pre-submission seminar, no? And in synopsis presentation seminar. Yes or no? Highest grilling is there. You grill like anything, ekdam churning like anything. I still remember my PhD synopsis presentation in Tejpur University. 45 minutes. PhD pre-submission seminar. They took 1 hour. I completed my presentation in 15 minutes. Rest 45 minutes grilling it. And final PhD presentation was just formality. It is formality. So most important part is your pre-submission seminar. Yes or no? So when you go for presentation before this bureaucrats, particularly IS officers, your grilling will be 100 times more than
hardcore social science stream, then it is to some extent it's okay. But suppose a professor is from hardcore social science stream, they may ask this nominal ordinal interval ratio. So don't take chances. Okay, better don't take chances. See, this everything is mentioned here. Nominal, just small I'm giving you. 3 runners are there, specific numbers are assigned to runners. So nominal scale, if I ask you what is your name, what is your gender, nominal scale. Ordinal, this runner got the ranking, first, second, third. Interval, performance rating on a 0 to 10 scale. So I'm giving performance rating 9.6 for the first place, 9.1 for the second, 8.2 for the third place. Then ratio of time to finish in seconds. How did I measure? Using a stopwatch. Stopwatch starts from 0. This interval scale, although there is a 0, means we don't give a 0 here, no? Performance. Okay, but if I ask you what is your height, what is your weight, how do I measure it? Using a scale, it starts from 0. So there is an example of a ratio scale. Okay.
What is exploratory research?
Ma'am, have you heard of David Livingstone, explorer? So he was a
Scottish missionary, basically. Okay, so he went to different parts of Africa and he discovered certain places in Africa. They were known to locals, but they were unknown to the outside world. Okay, so basically what he's doing? Exploring. Exploratory research means what is already there and you are defining. I have come to your room for the first time. It's a very beautiful room. When I go back to AIM, I tell them the college is very beautiful. Conference room was very beautiful. This is exploring. Other part is the conclusive. What is the conclusive research? There's a problem statement with you. Exploratory what I am doing, I am showing you the problem. Madam, this is the problem. This is, I am suffering from digestive issues. This is my problem. I have identified my problem, exploratory. But I am suffering. Will give me medicine? I need a conclusive no solution. When you talk of solution,